Wang. South Korean. 13 goals last season, 22 in total, formerly RB Leipzig. Goal getter. But his first job is to go into the wall. Who's going to hit this one then? Sochat having a chat with Ward-Prowse, who would be favourite. He scored so many from this sort of range in the Premier League, for Southampton particularly. Can he do it in a West Ham jersey here? Cornet has offered his services, signing last summer. I think it's going to be the right boot of James Ward-Prowse though. Ward-Prowse just can't get over the wall. A little bit higher, that could have been a problem for Dan Bentley, we'll never know. Hoping to sharpen up his set-piece shooting skills there, ready for the 2024-25 campaign. Ward-Prowse. Here's Doherty, loves a forward burst. Sarabia had a hand in the build-up to the goal, finding Larson, who cut back for Cunha to open the scoring. Nori. Wolves with a new home shirt with the club badge in the centre of the chest for the first time in 45 years. Chiquinho has Hee-Chan Hwang available. First time ball from the substitute. Low and menacing. Mavropanos and co were ready for it. Good contribution from Hee-Chan Hwang straight away. Mavropanos standing firm. Sarabia then on dead ball duty, uses that left boot. It was curving wickedly. And then the shot low, blasted in, saved well by Lucas Fabianski. And then he had the presence of mind to get up and collect what could have been a loose ball, with Larson hovering within 10. But it's another effort on target for Wolves. Sochat, strong. Ings. Beavering away. Another free kick won by the tenacity of Potts. Into the early hours in the UK. Was Cunha, who was replaced by Hee-Chan Hwang. Cunha's goal separates the sides. Raking ball for Sofal. Did well to control it, actually. Kudus has sparkled sporadically. The odd glimmer of his considerable ability. Not enough on that pass from Potts for Sofal, who shows determination to try and win the ball back for his team. Good commitment levels from both sides, given where we are in pre-season. But he'll be learning a lot from his players, Will Lopetegui, as will Gary O'Neill. We mentioned Paul McCartney playing in the Super Bowl. It's actually staged many big stars, this stadium, over the years. U2, Shania Twain, the Rolling Stones, Def Leppard, to name just a few. And now the footballers of Wolves and West Ham United. Wolves did win their 2 previous Molineux meetings 1-0. We talked about them losing to West Ham last season. The Hammers have won the last 4 home matches with Wolves without conceding. The old goal last win at the London Stadium was behind closed doors in June 2020. West Ham coming forward with intent with Cresswell. Cresswell's ball towards Kudus, but away. Sarabia. Larson in front of Agad. Played a fair lick, good tempo. Teams limbering up ahead of what's going to be a fascinating Premier League campaign. There's usually a surprise team, maybe that you wouldn't expect to be up in the higher echelons. Maybe it could be one of these two. Palace, the other team in this competition, of course, as we have a look at that good bit of defending to deny the Cresswell cross. Palace with a form team at the end of the season, so they're going to have their role to play in this mini tournament. We look forward to seeing them in action in the next 2 games. Wolves play them on Wednesday in Annapolis, the Navy Marine Corps Stadium. Oh, good work by Chiquinho, but Souček and Sofal combined to good effect. 8 Nori for Hichan Huang. 8 Nori again. So comfortable on the ball, and Mario Lemina almost gets it right for Sarabia, who sprinted into the box there, stretching and straining after an intelligent through ball. Good idea.
I don't know if you can all hear me. I thought I was sent a link, and I thought I'd share it with you. So let's keep it going whilst we can, shall we? Welcome to the West Ham Voice. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a bit sleepy and I'm a little bit pissed. So this link is. I'm muted. Did you say I'm muted? Can you not mic on mute? How can it be on? Hang on a second. Let me check.
Lemina was in some
You can hear me now?
It was serious. The last thing you want to be
I didn't think I was on mute. So I hope you can hear me now. We're fucking mind it. Thank you very much. Anyway, what was I saying? Right, watching the game. Look, this link is likely to be taken down because clearly I shouldn't be doing this. So enjoy it while you can. Clearly we're a goal down. I won't lie, I've been focusing on doing a few other things since I came off a line with Anton. But I thought, okay, we'll have a look and see what's going on. I don't know if I'm seeing anything different at the moment. I'm trying to work out if we've got a different setup, a different system. You tell me. You tell me in the chat what you've been watching? I'll give you more of a rundown in the second half when I concentrate a little bit more on the game. But 1 or 2 players look a little bit rusty. That's not going to be any surprise. So I kind of we expect that. We looked extremely awful for giving that goal away. we kind of cut open, weren't we, really? And it just goes to show what it's like to have a real striker on the pitch. Well taken goal by Cunha, was it? The Brazilian striker. How can we not get a striker? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Tees, good evening to you. Yeah, we look not very good. Big changes at halftime. Look, we know that Lopetegui is experimenting. This is a great opportunity for Lopetegui to really show, to really find out what his team are capable of. So, let's see, because like I said to Anton on the West Ham network, oh, well done, Fabianski. That was clever. Um, whilst I was on with Anton, I kind of said that we he's going to use these games to find out exactly what we need in the squad, and what we can do, and decide whether he needs to bring in more players in certain positions. We definitely need another right back. We definitely need a striker. But let's see what happens thereafter. It's a good point, Peter. What happens if we pick up a few injuries? I totally agree. Ultra, I think some people need to remember that it might take a couple of transfer windows until we start seeing a difference. Lopetegui can't work miracles overnight. I do agree with that. Sean, thank you, by the way. You know what for. I like that we're hunting impacts. So it's good to hear that. So we're trying to close teams down. And that's what Lopetegui's team do. Now they're on the attack again. Board is going in. That's cleared away. Am I getting the impression that we've got Mavropanos? We've got Mavropanos lined up with a Gerd. I'm guessing. I'm guessing that this is the backup lineup that I guess Lopetegui is going to be hoping for when it comes to the new season. But I guess we'll see. What shall I do? Is that better? Or is that better? What do you prefer? You tell me. Do you want to watch more of the game or more of me? Because I'm going to be trying to watch the game whilst watching your comments as well. Let's go up and see who's here. Good evening to you, Gary. I hope you're well. Good evening to you, Usual. How are you? Montana. Our squad needs 5 players. I'm scared for the season. We need a right back. Central midfielder, I'm not so sure about. Left back, no. And a striker. I think we've got to focus on what we really need. That's a bit exposed, isn't it? Okay, that's good. Well done, Fabianski, getting the ball away. We know that Lopetegui likes to play a certain type of football. He likes to play a 4-3-3 system when we're going forward. He likes to have his kudos. What a goal! What a stunning goal with his right foot. Superb goal. Well done, Kudus. That was such a superb goal. He's going to be a big player for us, I'm just stating the bleeding obvious, really. But what an absolutely amazing goal that was. I'd like your comments on what you think, how Ings is doing up front. Has he been involved in the game with the 3 up front, or has he not been in it at all? Montana. Why did we spend so much money on Kilman? Lopetegui is getting on my nerves. Wolves look so solid, having spent a fraction of what we spent. Look, I think Lopetegui is looking. What a great goal! What a superb goal! Lopetegui is clearly looking for a partner for Kilman. Let's not judge him just yet, because I think he's kind of hoping that if we don't bring anyone in, it'll be Mavropanos is going to probably have to partner Kilman at the back. I want to see how those two perform together before I pass judgment on Kilman. What else we got here? Let's go down, and I'm glad you can hear me. Good evening, Graham. I hope you're well. Good evening to you, Reese. I hope you're well. Good evening to Nate. They've taken the piss out of me before, so telling me that they can't hear me. Montana, whoever sanctioned this tour needs to get sacked. Florida always has storms in the summer and the stadiums and no roof. That is true. I remember being in Florida and getting absolutely burnt to a crisp when I watched what was the team? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, way back then. And yeah, I got burnt to a crisp because they had no cover. You're absolutely right. Ultra, I think some people need to remember, yeah, we've done that one. I might be overreacting, Montana, but how the team looks and the targets we're going after begs the question about the decision makers. Well, I did talk to Anton when I was on his channel about what exactly is going on. This is half time, so let's remove that for a moment. So when I'll talk to you, I did talk to Anton about my concerns over the transfer window. Not concerns, but I guess I kind of was asking, why have we not got um, Max Hahn, who's meant to be doing all the data analysis? Why is he not already given Lopetegui or Steiden, I should say, a list of young players to go for? Look, we've got to take sometimes the transfer window with a pinch of salt, especially when we get linked to the likes of Callum Wilson and all the players, injury prone players, older players, players in their last year of their contracts that clearly their agents are looking for another. I thought it was. Oh no, that's the highlights, isn't it? Players that agents are looking for, a new contract for, etc. We should ignore all that noise. We know that's usually not that all that sort of stuff is not very true. And what I was expecting was. I was expecting to be linked to a whole load of really young players like Guilherme, like Wesley Gasova. Let's be really honest. Unless we follow Brazilian football, not many of us would have heard of Guilherme or Gasova before. So I was kind of hoping we're going to be linked to more players like that. And then when we start to put in bids for, I don't know, I don't know, you tell me some of the players that we bid for, and then I start to get a bit concerned as to what direction we're taking. Anyway, now, good evening to you. What scares me is when the manager realizes that he hasn't got the squad to play that style that he wants, and we revert back to the same old boring defensive football once more. I think Lopetegui has already said that he's going to play different types of football. He's going to be playing different formations and different types of football dependent on the teams that we play. We are going to be playing defensive-minded football when I think he thinks the need arises. I don't think we'll be seeing much of that at the London Stadium, but maybe away games, most definitely. So I think we're going to see different types, different formations. Lopetegui prefers a 4-3-3, but he can mix it. He can play a 3-4-3. He's played a 4-3-2-1, a 4-2-3-1. He mixes it as need be. We need a ball carrier as soon as possible. We need a striker more than anything else, to be honest with you, mate. Sean, Ings looks quite sprightly, different player to last year, so maybe he is being used to his strengths. Look, I know we would all probably prefer Ings to go and bring another player in, but maybe Lopetegui is going to have to make do with what he's got. Nate, to be fair, the keeper was poor there with the goal. Yeah, we know Fabianski doesn't come off his line, does he? Gary, based on the little I've seen, I don't think Ings looks horrible. That's encouraging. That's encouraging. Montana, Bowen, Paquetá, and Alvarez will transform our team. Absolutely. Totally agree. Who else have we got here? Did you say that it was their goalkeeper that was poor there? Well, should have covered his near side post, I guess. What formation is Lopetegui? This is what I'm not sure about. I'm going to have a good look, but I'm guessing because I know he prefers the 4-3-3. That's what he's using here. Good evening to you, Vito from Australia. How are you? Thank you for joining, mate. Good evening to you, Steve. How are you, mate? You keep going, but mate, have the faith. Montana and Steve. Steve's been emailing me about his concerns about the transfer window. Have faith. Good evening, Ian. How are you, mate? Or good morning, I should be saying. My pleasure. This stream will definitely be taken down. I'll probably get a warning, on my channel. But let's see how we go. Vito, come and play in Australia in the future. A lot nicer people. Yeah, we know. You are actually, you are, Lee, and good Greek community there as well. Forget Duran, go robbery of Ajax. Villa are playing the game with hammers. I don't like what Villa are doing. I mean, they've got every right to do it. Let's be honest with you. They've got every right to do what they're doing. You know, if they think their player is worth 40 million, then that's what they should demand. We did the same with Arsenal last summer when we sold Declan Rice. You know, we wanted the 100 odd million, and we got it. Montana. Well, that Kudus goal shows you we still depend on the same 4 players from last season. Tim needs to get to work as soon as possible. We need good backup as well as those 4 players as well. Steve, looks like same old Sufal, Soucek. I don't mind if they can deliver. And as I said to you in the email, Steve, if they can deliver, because someone said a moment ago, we're not going to change the whole squad in just this in this summer transfer window. It will take quite a few to actually get there. And if we can get a tune out of the likes of Sufal, Soucek, and Ings, people have been saying Ings has looked quite good. Then I'll be all right with that. You know, Sufal's got 1 year left on his contract. Ings also has a year left on his contract. If we can't sell them and get other players in, then we're going to have to make use of them in some way. Sean, everybody be cool. This is a robbery. Schoolboy error for their goal. Well, if we rely on that, then fair play. You know, we've got to get the goal somehow. Fred, top of the morning to you as well, mate. I hope you're well. Graham, really poor defending for that goal. Ilias, good evening to you. Where can I watch the game, please? Here. Stay tuned and watch it here with us. Tease Retros, good evening to you. If Villa hadn't seen us overpay for Kilman, we might have closed the Duran deal by now. Look, Villa have been spending money like it's going out of fashion. And I know they've sold a few players or about to sell a few players as well, but they're quite on the brink. They were on the brink of PSR at the end of June. And if they're not careful, they're going to go way over their PSR limit by the end of next June. And they have to sell. And not only do they have to sell to make sure that they're within PSR, they've also got to sell because they want to continue buying. They want Felix, João Felix, who's not going to come cheap. And basically, they want us to fund the João Felix deal. Why don't we just go and buy João Felix instead and really stuff it to them? Freedom, Soucek looks out of sorts. He would do. Look, first game back after he was had time off for playing in the Euros. David, good evening to you. Good morning to you. Give them a chance to be ready for the new season. This is, you know, let's not worry about it's the result doesn't matter. It's more the performances that we put in. If the performances are poor, but let's not forget Avram Grant. For those of you who may remember, Avram Grant, when he took over West Ham United for that one fatal season, won every one of his games pre-season. And what happened to West Ham after that? We got relegated. So it's more about getting the players fit, you know, adopting Lopetegui's style, trying to make sure that they're adhering to what Lopetegui wants to do. Ultra. It seems like Sutherland is still getting involved in transfers, using his favourite agent, Salthouse, to sell some of his players. Look, I don't like, you know, the fact that Sullivan will be involved in transfers, but it to coin a phrase, it's what he does. You know, because Steiden has been given a budget. He's been given an amount of money. Is told you're going to need to go and make that work for what you want to buy. You know, obviously, if we want to increase that budget, we're going to have to sell more players. And I dare say the likes of Salthouse and Silkman, you know, favourite agents of Sullivan, will be involved in some way. Reese. Also, Stel, you might want to delete the stream after you finish to stop copyright. Good point. Thank you for that. Ozzy, good evening to you. Hello from the Gold Coast, Australia. Now you know how us living down under have to do what you. Trust me, mate. You know we know full well. But welcome, Sean. Potts has looked good too. Yeah, I like Freddie Potts. I think the loan spell he had at Wycombe Wanderers has done him the world of good. I know there's an awful lot of talk at the moment about Orford and everyone's getting upset. Look, my understand, well, I'm sure you already know, Orford's agent had a meeting with the club on Friday. Let's hope that that has actually been sorted out, and a new deal for Lewis Orford is going to be offered. But as I explained, I did a show for those of you who don't haven't been on my channel. Have a look at the show I did this morning, that went out this morning, and I talked about Orford, and I talked about the academy players that go from scholarship to professional contracts. And usually, what happens, when the club think that a player on scholarship is likely to make it, they offer them a deal. Usually, it's a 2-year deal. Now, someone suggested a good idea. Why not put a 2-year deal with a 1-year additional? If West Ham want to extend the contract, but what normally they're given a 2-year deal. And after the first year, West Ham will determine what they think they're going to do with the player. Do they look at sending the player out on loan? Do they look at keeping him and seeing how that player develops in the under 21s? Are they good enough to bring them into the senior team? They determine what is going to happen, and then they make a decision as the second year is in place. Second year of the contract starts. Then they start to negotiate whether they offer a new deal or not. And I think this has been blown out of all proportion with Orford. They were always going to talk to Orford, as they will do with any other player who's a academy player who's only got a year left on their contract. They will talk to them about a new deal if they believe that the player is going to make it. Anyway, what else have we got? Fabianski, Sean, was almost on the centre circle when could have scored. What's he doing out there? Wouldn't get back in time, would he? Raymond, good evening to you. Gary O'Neill, not stupid. He's done his homework on us. He's a decent coach, isn't he? Galispera to you, Steve. I hope you're well, mate. Everyone here, everyone here at the bed. Well, we all want to see something happening in this game to give us a bit of confidence moving forward, don't we? Avram Grant had an amazing pre-season, Vinay. Good morning to you. Raymond, Palace will be an even harder game, a good test, but I'm not worried about what the result's going to be. I'm more worried about what the performance is going to be like. Mark, this season will be transitional. It's the season after we really need to judge Lopetegui, in my opinion. That's a good shout. Good point. I agree with you. Good evening to you, Doreen. How are you? Wolves fan watching. Good program from you. Thank you very much. And you're most welcome, Doreen. Always welcome fans from other clubs. So you're very welcome. And thank you for getting involved in the chat as well. Irons we love. Good evening to you. Good morning to you. I keep saying good evening. Wan-Bissaka will be a good right back, and we need a decent striker. I'm not sold on Wan-Bissaka, and I'll tell you for why. Just like I wasn't sold on Mazraoui, the player that we were apparently going to sign from Bayern Munich. Injury prone. That's the thing that concerns me more than anything else. A good player on his day. I'm sure Mazraoui, that we're apparently going to buy, is a good player on his day as well. But my concern is about the injuries. And the last thing we want, we are known historically for buying players who are injury prone. So if Wan-Bissaka can give us 2 seasons without injuries, I'd say go ahead, let's go and get him. Even though he's on 100 grand a week, he's going to want a bit of a pay rise as well. No one will thank West Ham United and the board if we go and buy Wan-Bissaka, give him a 3-year contract, 4-year contract, and then end up he ends up being injured for a certain amount of the season. Everyone's going to then complain, aren't they? Are they coming on? Quite well, obviously, expecting an awful lot of changes in the second half. Montana, if Lopetegui wants to dip because we won't overpay for Duran, he can do one. We cannot depend on a single player in the whole world. We can get way better prospects for cheaper. Look, I don't mind if we get Duran for the right price. I don't want to overspend on any player. Vinay, I think Ings is going to be the surprise package for this season. He is a good player in and around the box. Good shout. Raymond, Areola and Bowen to come back as well. Areola, Paqueta and Bowen all to come back. Second half is about to start. We need Duran. Get it done and get it done now. But to what point, Vito? How much do you end up paying for a player? My understanding now is that we thought that Aston Villa wanted 40 million. I think we got close to that with add-ons, etc. And now apparently they want over that with add-ons. When do you stop? At what point do you go, forget about this? If it's 40 million, I'd risk, although I'm not too sure I want him more for his age than anything else. If I'm going to pay 40 million, then why not go and bid 40 million for Ivan Toney, who's a proven goal scorer? Fred. I liked what I saw in training session over there, was encouraging, better than basic mooring boys sessions. Kian, good evening to you, mate. I hope you're well. I ain't watched much pre-season this year. How's that new Brazilian kid looking? To be honest with you, mate, I haven't watched much either. I've been told he's quite sprightly, he's quite lively, but he's still fresh. He's only 18. It's going to take him a while to settle in. But there's a lot of, it's considered to be a half decent player. New coach, Graham, new players, and new system. Can't read much into this game, but backup players are definitely needed sooner rather than later. Look, there's been a whole host of changes. I'm not going to go through the team, but you can see we've got the likes of Emerson and various others that are on the pitch. Sean, Duran is on FIFA compulsory holiday after Copa America. He's not due back until the 30th of July at the earliest, so be patient. Good shout. Good shout. Montana. We really overpaid for Kilman. That's the main reason even Wan-Bissaka deal is proven so difficult. We did overpay, but let's be really honest, Montana. Every time we go for a domestic player, the price is hiked up immediately. It happens, doesn't it? It's like, for example, Conor Gallagher from Chelsea. I'd love for us, but Chelsea need to sell players. Gallagher is one of the players apparently is likely to be sold. We know, or I know, that Conor Gallagher, if he does get sold, will want to stay in London. He's just built a new house in Surrey. He doesn't want to move his family. He's got a young family, etc. He'd rather stay at Chelsea. But if Chelsea do sell him, Conor Gallagher is going to want to go. Conor Gallagher won't go cheap. Whereas you might get another player that plays in his position, similar type of player, etc., that might come from abroad, you might pay 30 million for him. Conor Gallagher is going to have a price, just like Kilman did. We knew we were going to overpay for Kilman because he's an English player. And it shouldn't be that way, but unfortunately it is. And that's why we end up going for quite a lot of foreign players. John, Lopetegui told Kudus to play his football attacking style. Boom, great goal. Good point. Ricky, Villa are getting beat 4-1 at the moment. This are they playing? Of course they are. This may make them to decide to sell Duran to fund players. Good shout. Vito, what's the latest on Sul? Forget about Sul, to be honest with you. Look, the problem with the transfer market is that we get an awful lot of players thrown up, mentioned that we're interested. Look, I don't doubt that we maybe were interested in Saul. Doesn't mean we made a bid for Saul. Don't think he's going. I don't think he's coming to an English club. I think he's going to stay in Italy. Nick missed the first half. Still, how did we look? Guess what, mate? So did I. But the Kudus goal was fantastic, Nick. Raymond. Here, Duran has attitude, another Arnie when things don't go his way. My understanding is the reason why he's got attitude is because he came to Aston Villa and, I think he was expecting that he was going to play, but Ollie Watkins, it's not a bad thing that someone like Ollie Watkins is keeping you out of the team. But I think he thought he was going to get a little bit more game time than he did. But that didn't materialize. And I think that's why he's upset and he's got an attitude. If Lopetegui thinks he can handle him, West Ham are on the attack. And they've lost the ball. If Lopetegui thinks he can get well done, Zoom, and mind your knees, mate, for goodness sake. If Lopetegui thinks he can get something out of a player like Duran, then great. I don't think we'd be bidding so much money for a player if we didn't think that we could sort of control his temperament. And let's be honest, fuck me, what a bad challenge by Zuma. But I don't think, to be quite honest with you, Duran, if he does come to West Ham United, he's not going to be on the bench. He's going to likely to be a starter, which will make him happy, which might manage his attitude a little bit better. Lee, good evening to you, mate. I hope you're well. Kim Jong-Sullivan, silly hat and coat, should dress as a clown. Leave Tim to do his job that he's paid to do. Sean, The John Duran attitude thing has been blown out of all proportion by one Villa blogger. He shared one Chelsea tweet about some Colombian lass joining them. Kid just wants game time. Exactly that. Charlie, good evening to you. There is a stream that actually shows the game. Here it is. I'm going to get done. I know I am, but let's try and carry on. Paps, good evening to you. Nobody's talking about bringing Zuma on. Unfortunately, he's here. My old man's knee's going to cave, brother, on the pitch. He's on the pitch, mate. Did you see that rash challenge you just made? Raymond, hopefully second half we step up a gear. Only about fitness today. Exactly that. Let's scroll down and try and catch up. Yes, someone mentioned about Sammy Perkins, Sonny's brother. Montana, I see we have gone to a back three. I like that Lops also sees that Mavropanos is a liability. As I said earlier on, Mavropanos, Lopetegui does play different systems according to need. And I like that. One of the things that was criticised with David Moyes, of course, was that he wouldn't change his system. He was quite rigid with a 4-2-3-1. It didn't matter who he played. It was always a defensive 4-2-3-1. My understanding, and we've seen it now with Lopetegui, is he will change formation. He will change the system according to need. Can we shrink you to watch the match? I was going to do it, but now I'm not going to do it. No, I'll do it. Oh, I don't mind doing that. There you go. Now you've gone on completely. Let's do it like that. We're down to the bottom. That was quick. Montana, Wan-Bissaka is really injured, a very solid. Well, I would dispute that, mate, because he was out for quite a bit of time last season, and I kind of looked. I looked at his stats, and he hasn't got a great record. Not as bad as Mazraoui. Mazraoui missed 80 games in 4 years, 4 seasons, when he played for Ajax and then Bayern Munich. What else have we got? Right. Well, let's talk about the game, shall we? Let's see how we're doing. I think Wolves, to be quite honest with you, look quite comfortable. I think maybe this system that we're playing now with a back three seems to suit us a bit more. Don't run too much, Zuma. We're going to need you for the season, mate. These players can't keep the ball, and that's what Lopetegui wants. He wants the players to keep hold of the ball much more than he does than we did under Moyes. Let's see if I can focus on. Isn't Dawson? Oh yeah, Dawson. I don't know if he's injured or not. I'm not sure. He might well be. Lopetegui very vocal on the side. That's good to see. I totally agree. I don't like this playing short from the back. Oh, now that's very different. Have you noticed there who's got that ball there? Is that Kudus? My, look at him go. Now, I quite like that. Now, it's an interesting tactic there from the goal kick. Usually, what we were doing last season when we were trying to play the ball out from a goal kick is playing it to the side. Playing it forward and getting the ball forward quicker is a new tactic, which is really good. So I can shut up now and watch the game. Do I think we might be back in for Jota? Yes, to be honest with you. We were waiting for his. Yeah, I think we might do. I don't know why we're waiting here. I know there's talk about is Clyde Best still carrying an injury? I know there's been talk about Somerville, Crescencio Somerville, but he's going to be. He would cost something like what? 4 times he'll be 40 odd million. Another player that'd be 40 odd million. But Jota, I think, would be an interesting one, and they're the type of players that I thought that we'd be linked to quite a bit. You know, sort of like low cost. You know, players under 25, etc. He's only got a year left on his contract, so yeah, I think we might go back in for him. I guess we'll have to see what happens. We just need decent players that can improve. Let's take a gamble on potential for the right back. I do actually want to go back to try and get Walker Peters from Southampton. I don't understand why we haven't done that, to be quite honest with you. I'm not sure why we just didn't do the deal when we brought Flynn Downs. Kudus on the ball. This is another tactic that Lopetegui uses quite well. He does the cross ball. He quite likes that. He switches. He gets the players to switch the balls from right to left, left to right. And this is why, interestingly, I think Aguerd would be good in a Lopetegui system. He's the sort of player that could get that ball. He's got a good passing range on him. He was a great player, Clyde Best. Devonshire, he was my favourite player. Absolutely. Reese, I reckon we will end up signing some unknown player from a second tier team that's going to smash it. That's what I'm waiting for, Reese. I'm waiting for a player that we've never heard of before to come in to the club. Blimey, Brian Deer's put on some timber pre-season. I'm not watching the game much. I don't know if you are, but it's a bit even at the moment, isn't it? Our passing looks so much sharper, Graham, than last season already. So we've seen a couple of changes already, some tactics. We've seen that Lopetegui will change the system according to need, change the formation according to need. We've seen that when we're passing the ball out from a goal kick, it's played forward rather than sideways, getting the ball forward a lot quicker. You're looking at the balls being switched from left to right, right to left when need be. Now we're on the attack. Come on, Kudus. Good question, Saif. To be really honest with you, and I know people, there's a lot of fans, West Ham fans, that really want Ivan Toney in. To be really honest with you, I would rather we went for um, Duran, but for the right price. I don't think we should be paying 40 million for Duran, but it seems that Aston Villa are not going to budge. So I think we need to walk away from that. And I think at 28 years of age, you can still get a good 3-4 years corner to West Ham United. You can still get maybe 3-4 years out of Ivan Toney. I think Ivan Toney thinks he's a little bit too big for us. And those stories, I don't know how true they are, that he apparently prefers to go to Spurs. So let's see what might come out of that. Aussie was lucky to watch Devonshire and Brooking. What I'll do to see them out there now. I'm old enough to remember some of the early games I went to, and Devonshire as well, Brooking as well. Devonshire was my all-time favourite. The way he played. Can you imagine if Devonshire was a young player in this day and age? What would he be worth? He'd be £100 million, wouldn't he? Or am I exaggerating? Corner to West Ham. Oh, unlucky there. Who was that took the shot? I can't see that because the screen's too small. You're gonna have to forgive me, people, because I do think I'm gonna have this video taken down because I, shouldn't be showing this. But anyway, Aguerd is a good player. I hope he stays. I think Aguerd could actually do well out of the Lopetegui system, to be honest with you. Um, James Ward-Prowse slowing things down. Well, he's never had pace on his side, has he? You're available, Nick? Available to play for West Ham? West Ham, from what I saw about 10, 15 minutes of the first half, and it looked like their striker was kind of opening us up quite a bit at the back. We look a little bit more solid here with a back three. But don't worry about what the score is going to be in games like this. This is more about Soucek give ball away there. It's more about working out formations, working out the teams, working out individual players, etc. You should write to Mr. Lopetegui and say, "I'm Nick. I'm available," and see if you can get a trial. It's not easy doing watch-alongs on your own. I don't think I ever have done a watch-along, to be honest with you. Wolves have got the ball outside of our 18-yard box. I don't have to talk it through. You can see it yourselves. Really hoping Cornet can find some long-lost form. That would be nice. That would be a bonus if we can get a tune out of Lopetegui, out of Cornet. I want to see Mavro at right back. Interesting. Has he ever played? I don't think he's ever played that to be quite honest with you. It's 59 minutes gone, still 1-1. We look at so let's see how we're going to do this, right? So this time round, we haven't played it further forward. Oh, zoomer out on the right. Who was that? Who's the number 56? Is that it's one of the academy players. Wow. Fabianski's come off his line, people. That's an exclusive. Kodua, that's who I'm thinking of. It's interesting. Kodua's a central midfielder. Um, and it's interesting that Lopetegui, I think it's the second or third time now, has played him out on the right side of defence. Good evening to you, Artin. How are you? I'm tempted to bet some money on West Ham right now, but I'm unsure. 56 is Kodua. Thank you, Paps. E. Davis, he has played right back quite a bit. No, uh, not in his career. Correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding from following Kodua has always been he's always played quite centrally, unless you're saying he's played right back throughout this pre-season. But tell me one way or another, mate, because I always thought Kodua was much more of a central midfielder. Emerson, good play by Emerson. Nice little knock there by, I'm guessing that was Kudus, who's playing a slightly more central role rather than out wide. Kudus with the ball again. Look how strong he is. Look how strong he is. Nice little chip there. Oh, thank you, mate. I thought you meant Kodua. Mabra. I didn't know that. I thought he was always right-sided central defender. Have the cats. Do you remember that, Reese? For those of you who don't know, this backdrop, Upton Park backdrop, used to be propped up before I had it put on the wall. And one evening, as I was doing a show, all of a sudden, Upton Park came falling down. The cat went behind it and knocked it off. That was hilarious. We're getting Antonio coming on, who going to get his first run out since coming back from Copa America. What are we expecting from Antonio this season? You know, if we get a new striker, we know that Antonio is going to be back up. We know Antonio doesn't like being back up. He wants to be number one. So it's going to be really interesting to see Antonio's attitude once we do sign a striker, because I expect Antonio to do what we've all been saying for the past 2 or 3 seasons, that he comes off the bench, you know, is an impact sub rather than a player that will start games. So it's going to be very interesting to see Antonio's attitude if that happens next season. Plenty of bench time, hopefully, for Antonio. I do miss that. Reese, mate, I'm still there, you know, every Monday night. People, by the way, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the West Ham Voice. Doesn't cost you anything to. He went through the players quite easily there, didn't he? A Gerd. Please do subscribe to the West Ham Voice. It costs you nothing to become a subscriber. I do a number of different shows, primarily Monday nights, the West Ham Weekly, which will be back this coming Monday night, and I've got a special guest coming on as well. And then I do a number of pre-recorded shows as well throughout the week, dependent on what stories are available. I won't just put a show out there just for the sake of it, but I will do a show when there's something to talk about. Of course, at the moment, it's primarily about doing transfers. But if there's anything else that comes about, like this morning's show I did, pre-recorded, I talked about Lewis Orford and about his background, what's going on with his contract, and so on and so forth. So if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. That would be wonderful. And also hit the like button if you're enjoying this show as well. Ethan, I think you should leave the club, go for Tony. I don't know why we don't go for strikers, only ones that are washed out. Well, I think if we get an offer for Antonio, if we get a half decent offer for Antonio, I think we will sell him and go for Tony. I would rather get a younger striker. but I get why West Ham fans would relish having Ivan Toney. Montana. I've seen a good left winger. Kyogo from Celtic will help us. I hope they look for bargains. But this is what I was thinking, Montana. I was thinking that we were going to we were going to sign more bargains. You know, players that we kind of like. That player you mentioned, you know, like the Guilhermes, etc. I thought we were going to have a few more of those. You need a balance, of course you do. You need experience as well as some of these players that you know could be rare finds. You know, like Steiden has been quoted as being the pearl diver. I don't mind getting a few of those, but you also need to have a balance. You can't fill the whole team with unknowns just in case. Saif, good evening to you, Scott. I hope you're well, mate. Saif, I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for streaming the match and risking your shout. If I get banned, well, no. Do you know what I probably will have to take this show down afterwards, but do subscribe. By the way, I agree with Reese about deleting the stream immediately after. Absolutely. I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. Best bargain. Do you remember, Reese? You know, I'm sure a lot of West Ham fans will remember this. West Ham are on the attack. Nice play again. Oh, that's Antonio. Looks like a new signing. Oh, what a cracking strike. Unlucky. Do you remember when we all got Craig Dawson and David Moyes got absolute, there's Lewis Orford, number 61. And he got pelters for signing Craig Dawson. Craig Dawson ended up being probably our best central defender for a couple of seasons, didn't he? Good evening to you, Epic. I hope you're well. David, good evening to you, mate. Duran would have finished that. Get the checkbook out. Good evening to you, Nando. Good day from Australia. Good day to you, mate. Appreciate the stream. Do you mind going through the squad that's there? I genuinely don't know, mate, because I got the link quite late. But I'll give you an idea. I think Fabianski's in goal. I think we've got Mavropanos, a Gerd. No, we haven't got Mavropanos. We've got Kodua on the right, a Gerd, Zuma, and Emerson in defence. We've got Antonio up front. There's then Irving, Orford, Kudus in the middle. I know I'm missing someone. I think Socek might be on as well. So we got here E. Davis. I've never seen someone attack a ball in the air like Big Craig. Oh, good save there. Good strike. Good save. The fans blamed Sullivan for signing Dawson, and he ended up becoming an absolutely amazing player for us. Let me try and go through the team again. Foderingham is in goal now. I thought that was still Fabianski. Good save by Foderingham. Very good save from our third choice keeper. Foderingham in goal. We've got Kodua, Gerd, Zuma, and Emerson at the back. In midfield, up front, we've got Antonio. And then in the middle, we've got Orford, we've got Irving and Kudus. And I know I've got one missing. Number 50, Callum Marshall. What's he doing back there? So number 50, Callum Marshall is on as well. Well taken there. Oh, and we can talk of the devil. We've got Guilherme playing out on the left. Tease. Possession has been better in the second half, but as Moyes would say, possession doesn't win games. That is true. Nana, it's 2:30 in Ghana, and it's 3:30 in London, and I should be in bed. Think I better hit that. Thank you for my pleasure, Nana. Do subscribe to the channel before you go. Good evening to you, Trevor. I hope you're well, mate. From Cape Town, Hammers, South Africa, 4:30 a.m. Mate, it's late, isn't it? It's late for all of us. Ethan, good evening to you. Honestly, I don't know why we went for goalkeeper. Do we really need another keeper? Just go for the striker. Look, a couple of good reasons why we went for a goalkeeper. First of all, you do need your third keeper, because if you get an injury to one of your first or second choice keepers, you're immediately on the back foot. You need that third keeper. And secondly, Foderingham, English, homegrown talent. adds to the homegrown tally. We need 8 homegrowns. At the moment, we've got 7 homegrowns in the squad. And that's without including maybe pushing any of them up from the academy. So we still, at the moment, we still need 1 more homegrown to come into the team. Montana. We're playing in the three-quarters of an empty stadium. Who thought this was a good idea? At least give out the tickets to school children and make them West Ham fans. Why don't these promoters think it's a good shout? That's a good shout. Armando, good evening to you. Paqueta is happy in Flamengo. I'm sure he is. So if you want to give us 55 million for what we paid for him, he'll be happier ever after in Flamengo. But with the greatest of respect, Mondo, I hope you're well. Thank you for joining. With the greatest of respect to you, you can't afford him, so he's not going to stay in Flamengo for much longer. Good evening, Bra Kelly. I hope you're well. Enjoying live from New York. Thanks for streaming. My absolute pleasure. Bra, please become a subscriber. All of you. Everyone that's watching, I've got 286 viewers at the moment. I didn't think that will happen because when I actually decided to log on, I think I had about 10 people watching. Do subscribe to the channel. That would really help me. And please hit the like button for this show. Montana. Southampton are deluded. They want 20 million for a player with 1 year left and he's 27 years of age. Let's wait and sign him next year when Soufal also leaves. I don't know what they're doing there. We should have just struck a deal, a swap deal directly with Flynn Downs. Should have just happened straight away. Aussie. 12:34 p.m. in the Gold Coast, watching on the veranda with a coffee. Yeah, mate, I envy you. Who's our number 26? Now I know. Oh, that's Kilman, isn't it? Of course, it's Kilman. My pleasure, Nate. Thank you for watching, mate. Good evening to you, Muddy. I hope you're well. Agurd looks mustard now. Oh, 2-1. I have to watch that again. Agurd looks mustard now that we're not playing with our backs to the wall. Imperative. Lopetegui gives him lots of cuddles. And as soon as you said that, mate, they scored a goal. Kadua looks way more solid than Soufal, but if Moyes was here, he would never ever see him. Chris, good evening to you, mate. I hope you're well. Woke up for the second half. Was the first goal half good? I didn't watch all of the first half, to be honest with you, but could have scored a fantastic goal. Fred, why has nobody commented on how Orford is feeling after? Well, watch my show. I did a show that went out on my channel this morning. Now, where was the cover for Kudus there? No, for Agurd there. Agurd did all he could, but he was exposed. He had a player running. You know, once he tried to tackle that player that came in, he had another Wolves player that he had to contend with. That's where your right back should be. You know, so we were left a little bit exposed there. I'm not gonna have a go at Agurd for that goal. Watching from Saudi Arabia, Richard. I hope you're well. Wealth Wisdom Weekly, good evening to you. How many players would West Ham United sign? I think we might get 3 more, and that might be our lot. A right back, a striker, and hopefully a left-sided attacking midfielder. Montana, let Tony go to Spurs. He'll be a pain for us. I can see it from a mile away. Wealth, we have signed 3 players now. Hope we sign at least 3 more. I think at the very least 3 more. Where was the right back to help Agurd with that goal? That we were left a little bit exposed. Look, let's look at that again. So you got 1 player running in. Look, of course it was Kurt Zuma who can't keep up with play. You see it from that angle, you know straight away whose fault that was. Kurt Zuma couldn't keep up with the play. There's absolutely no way Kurt Zuma is going to be able to play in the Premier League next season. You know, he left Agurd to deal with 2 players there. You know, he was trotting back rather than sprinting back. And the reason why he was trotting back is because he can't sprint back. We were way exposed there, way exposed. Nickerman, good evening to you. Lunchtime in Bali, time for a beer. God, dude. Oh, I envy you lot. It's 3:30 here and I should be tucked up in bed. Cordova is playing well, but that was Zuma's fault. That's not fair. It was Zuma, not the right back. From that angle, north side, I agree with you. Now that I've saw it from the angle that we saw it last time, that was absolutely Zuma's fault for not keeping up with play. Just give Zuma away. I don't even think we can do that, to be honest with you. Jilly, watching from my garden in Catford, getting a tad chilly. I bet it is. Perhaps, bruv, I didn't stay up this late to see us lose. Can we bring Kudus back on? Well, everyone needs to play. Don't worry about the result. It's not about the result. Doesn't matter. Zuma is done. He can't run at all. He really can't. He really can't. Ethan, don't know why you don't splash the cash for Klosterman from BVB. Be like 40 million. I don't know about him, but I'll look that up. Wealth. I miss Bowen, Paqueta. These guys are important for our attack. They absolutely are, and they'll be back soon. A Gerd's come off. That means Suma's on his own at the back there with Kilman. Good luck with that one. I reckon, mate, I reckon my knees are better, and I'm twice Zuma's age. Paqueta is still away because he's been playing international football, so he's not likely to join up. He may join up later. I kind of was expecting Paqueta and Bowen to join up, but they've got time off for having played international football. Zuma's done, isn't he? I mean, Zuma is totally done. You know, if that's the best he can offer us, because he can't play the high line, because he can't run back. Zuma's done. That second goal for Wolves demonstrated just how awful Zuma is now. He's got no pace. He's got Zuma is banned from Catford. He's got no pace at all. He's absolutely done as a defender. Absolutely done. Oh, fuck me. Not looking good, is it? But like I said, this demonstrate we badly need more defenders to come into this in this transfer window. Exposed again. Absolutely exposed again. Jim Steiden doesn't look at the European market. There's a solid right back at PSV. We haven't even been linked. What are we doing with scouting department? I don't know what's going on with scouting. Look how exposed we are here. Great cross. Again, two players. The right back again on his own. Zuma's in the middle. He's not even watching what's going on. Cordova was completely exposed there yet again. Look. Cordova's got two players either side of him to defend. Zuma's ball watching. Awful. You know, awful. And I know it's only a friendly, and I know it's a run out, but you can see quite clearly that we really do need to let Zuma go because that was pretty awful there. Zuma has been on in the second half, and we've conceded 2 goals. And I would say, harsh as maybe one or two of you may think, that both those goals in the second half are directly Zuma's fault. Reese, is this Zuma last year? It is his last year of his contract. It is, but we can't afford to keep him because he's costing us about 100 grand a week, and we actually need to sell him. But who is going to buy him? You know, I don't think anyone's going to buy him, and we're going to be stuck with him. Ethan, we are really exposed at the back. We do need defenders, but need a proper striker who can make runs in behind the defence. Don't help that Lopetegui plays defensive football. He doesn't necessarily play. He plays he plays a mid-line, high-line sort of play. He's not overly defensive. Certainly not half as defensive as Moyes was. Montana, this should force us to go and look hard at enforcements. This Wolves player killing us. Never even heard of him. What are we even scouting? We need defenders, and I think this game has demonstrated that we need defenders quite badly. F22, good evening to you. We need Johan Vasquez. I've talked about Vasquez, really good centre back that plays in Serie A and for Mexico. Interesting player. Talked about him, I think, in a show last week. Perhaps this squad is lacking all the creative players. Kudus Paquetá, Bowen Prowse, no one to feed Antonio. That's fair enough. But what my concern is more about our defenders. Zuma can't play in the Premier League anymore. Hammers should sign Dukan from Orlando City. I don't know about him either. Usual. Jilly, I'm just up the road from you. I'm in Kathmandu. It's not so much that we need a Ronaldo, Alexander. We need a defender that's going to dominate the back. I think Kilman is a good buy, but I think we need someone that's going to be as solid alongside him, to be honest with you. Good night to you, Ethan. Thank you for being involved. Mr. DeForges, how are you? I hope you're well, mate. I saw Wiggy tonight or last night. We went down to his patch in order to have a little dinner, etc. Caelan Casey, much better defender than that is Casey, isn't it? Where's he going? He's going out onto the right side of defence. Interesting. Artin, sorry. Even though I love West Ham as a team, I love this chat and stream in general. I saw the match rhythm and bet on Wolves, and my money just got quadrupled. Well done to you. And welcome, and thank you for getting involved in the chat as well. Kevin, can we just convince Zuma to retire, even if it means a golden handshake? We'll have to pay him his whole season salary, or at least 10 months of it. 100 grand a week. Thank you, Fred, for watching. Alfie, this is embarrassing. I think our defense has been in shambles. Certainly in the second half, they have been. Crap bed after the first half. Thanks, to my pleasure, Scott. Alexander, where do you predict we finish in the table this season? It's difficult. If we get the players that we need, another centre back, a right back, a left-sided attacking player, and a striker, then depending on who we get, I think we could, compete for the top 6, top 7. But if we don't get those players in, and we are reliant on the likes of Zuma, etc., then I'm not too sure. Mid-table, maybe. I wish I was, mate. I wish I was. Unfortunately not. No. Are you going? Artin, but I still hope you guys have a great season. Thank you for that. There's potential with good signings. There is. Thank you for that. Mark. Feel sorry for Kodua. He's being left exposed by Suma's lack of pace. He absolutely is. I totally agree. Mark, mate, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Send us a few photos and a video while you're there, like I did for you in Prague. Hi from Oregon. Thank you for joining, Kevin. Much appreciated. Paqueta's not banned, Seb Soccer. He's got time off because he was playing international football, as is Bowen, as is Areola. Look, the scoreline's not good. Let's forget the scoreline. What I'm more concerned about is how our defense has been, and specifically Kurt Zuma has been found wanting. Massive liability. Trevor, still got to go to bed. Thanks for your time. Got to get better cheer. Hammers fans from Trevor. Thank you for joining, mate. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. How long we got left in the game? Not long. I'm not going to keep this up because I will get done for it. So as soon as I'm finished, I will be deleting this stream. So whilst I can, For those of you who have yet to become subscribers of the channel, please do become a subscriber. It's free to become a subscriber. All my content is free. I don't charge for any content, and I do quite a number of different shows. The West Ham Weekly on a Monday night is one of them, which is a live show, and also a number of pre-recorded shows about news, transfers, and so on. Wolves are on the attack again. We are being exposed at the back, and I hate saying it, but unfortunately, it's all down to one player, Kurt Zuma. Alfie, Paqueta and Bone aren't here, so that's one excuse, but we really need a better defense. We really do. We really do need a better defense. Saif, do you think that Duran can provide the runs behind defense and provide headers? Yes, I do. I don't think we're going to buy him. I think Villa have outpriced themselves on that deal, and I think we're going to walk away. I don't think we're going to keep bowing to their demands. I think now, as I said earlier in the show, apparently Villa now want 40 million and add-ons. There's no way, that's too rich for us, and I think we just need to really move on and start looking at other potential players. Duran wants to come to us, yeah, but unfortunately, Aston Villa are not playing ball. Good morning to you, mate. I hope you're well. It was a lovely holiday, thank you. Felt like a long distant memory. Kudus did score, and he scored a cracking goal. Really, really well taken goal. We've got 5 minutes left, and it's 3-1. What is your Leon Edwards v Bilal and Tom Aspinall v Curtis Blade? Scott, I don't know what you're talking about, mate. You know what I'm like, a bit slow. What is your opinion about Duran doing that Hammers on live stream? I thought it was very cheeky of him. Wasn't very nice for Aston Villa fans to see that, but he was sending out a message. Graham, Zuma nowhere near his man again. He surely can't be considered as first team player anymore. No. Agree with you, Martin. 40 million is far too rich, I'm afraid, for Duran. I'd like him to come, but we're being outpriced. Good ball by Antonio. Oh, nice goal there, West Ham United. Offside. And you know what, Scott? First goal's conceded by Foderingham, but neither were his fault, to be honest with you, mate. A lot of changes. I mean, I think the team has changed, all 11 players that were started the game. Nice cross there by Antonio. Got that ball in. Good knockback. There he is. He was offside there. I don't know, Alexander. Give him a chance. I think it's a different approach. We need to give Lopetegui an opportunity to demonstrate what he's capable of doing. I'm not going by these friendly games to judge him. This is why Alvarez is so important. I totally agree. But it's our defense, to be honest with you, Scott. Our defense is poor. Kurt Zuma guilty for both their goals in this second half. My apologies for not doing a sort of a proper commentary on this, but you're seeing you can see what I can see, so I don't need to do that. John, hello, mate. I hope you're well. Good morning to you from Chiang Mai, all over the world, Australia, America, Chiang Mai. Wonderful. We look a bit shaky at the back. Shaky, mate. That's an understatement. But hopefully it's going to be fixed by August. Nice little wake-up call for Lopetegui. I think we needed it. We remember right at the start of the transfer window, the criteria was we need 2 centre-backs and a striker. They were the priorities. We've got 1 centre-back We need to get that other centre back now, but we've got to let one go. And it doesn't look like anybody wants Zuma or a Gerd. In a way, I kind of hope maybe a Gerd will stay because who knows? He might do well under the Lopetegui system. How can anyone judge the new coach? Not yet. We've got to give him the season and see what happens. Montana, we should have just waited for Fonseca. Lopetegui has not convinced me at all. Time, mate. Come on, come on. Let's not do this. Let's not do this. Let's give him time and see what happens. But Fonseca is at where's he gone to? What club's he gone to? I wanted to say AC Milan. I think it might be AC Milan. Reese, I'm not bothered about the results, just the performance. It shows who is actually up for the season ahead. Certainly not Zuma. We definitely need a centre back. Chris, thanks, Stel, for the stream. Nice to see the youth playing. New defender needed, definitely. Alfie, it's just pre-season, so it's not the most important. But if we can get another centre back, a striker, and a right back, we might push for Europe. Might do, depending on who we get. Scott, Kara would be great to have right now. The irony. Montana, why didn't Tim recommend the new Brighton manager? What does he really add to our club? Let's wait and see, mate. Let's wait and see. I'm not going to judge Lopetegui just yet. I'm going to give him. I mean, you know, I backed Moyes for quite a considerable amount of time. So I want to wait and see. I want to wait and see. Get Sammy Perkins on. SCR, we've got to sign defenders before the Premier League starts. I agree. We need a right back. And if we can get rid of one of our centre backs, we buy another centre back as well. Maurizio 23, are you predicting or do you know? How far behind is my stream? Game's petered out a little bit. Wolves have looked quite impressive. They've taken their chances, but we've given them, well, our defence when Zuma came on. When Zuma came on, I think it collapsed. Montana, I'm sorry, but I don't know what Kilman has to do for me to be at ease with his signing. We look so shambolic, and to think we could use his money for two players, I'm really hurt. No, I think you know, you got to give Kilman credit where credit's due. He was superb for Wolverhampton Wanderers. They didn't want to let him go, but of course, money talks. I think with the right partnership, I think Kilman would be all right for us. Anyone know this Wolves number 37 who's really good? I don't, I'm afraid. I barely know who's on at for West Ham at the moment. Alexander, how can you judge the manager? Consider the fact he failed in previous spells. Consider the fact he failed in his previous spell. Well, he didn't fail. To be quite honest with you, I think he actually did quite well. He took Wolverhampton Wanderers, who were languishing in the bottom three of the league, and he actually that season he got them to finish above West Ham United. Graham, watching from Samuel Island in the Philippines. Marshall finished that with style. He is a natural. Pity it was disallowed though. Aussie, got to give the new coach time to get his own team and time before you can judge him. Saif, really enjoyed the stream. Thank you from watching from Dubai. Do become a subscriber before you go, mate. But thank you for watching. This has been a great exercise. JLo will know which youth players have got the minerals, and that Zuma and Antonio are done. Really good points. Michael, yes, key players are missing because they have yet to come back from international duty. Ian, the stream was a fantastic surprise. Midnight here in Nova Scotia. Get a few Zeds, mate. I'm lagging. Game is over. Game is done. That's it, people. Let's get that off. This stream is not going to stay on, to be quite honest with you, because I will get done because I shouldn't have been showing it in the first place. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all for the chat as well. Really appreciated. And thank you to the individual who sent me the link, which was very much appreciated. Look, if you're new to the channel, become a subscriber. Can't stress it enough. There's still 249 of you, 233 of you who are still watching. please do hit the subscribe button. Costs you nothing to do to become a subscriber. So please do that. And I will see you all very soon. Next show, there'll be a pre-recorded, probably an update on our transfer business. And the next show after that will be a live stream on Monday night, the West Ham Weekly, which starts about 9:15 UK time. And for those of you who know me, 9:15 usually means about 9:19, 9:20. Hope you're all well. Thank you for watching. Go and get some Zeds, and I'll see you all very soon.